And welcome to the RZNGMEN Show, and I'm your host, Craig Carlisle. And in studio today, I'm very excited. I have my oldest son in studio with me today, and I've had his younger brothers in the studio before, and we've talked about a father's time, and we're going to continue with that kind of a topic and that segment here. So, son, introduce yourself to the folks and tell us something about yourself.
How you doing? I'm Shane. I am a senior at The Ohio State University, studying sport industry and pre-med minor. I'm almost done. I'll finish hopefully in the summer, around August or so. After that, I plan on doing a little bit of a bridge program before going into pre-med, things like that. And so it'll definitely be a long road ahead.
But it's exciting. I'm proud of you, and I know your brothers are too. They talk and ask about you a lot, and you know you do stretches away from home here. The kids are like, "Oh, when would Shane's do it?" I always encourage them to call you, or text you and see what you're up to. And they always say, "Well, Shane, he didn't answer the phone." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but he's busy at school. He needs to be studying." But just know you're definitely missed. We're definitely proud that you're doing everything that you want to do away from school. Now, tell everybody, if you had an opportunity to go back, your brothers, they look up to you and they watch your every move. What would you tell them? What would you give them as a word of advice growing up to be better people, better men in general?
Kind of a big thing that I would have worked on is making connections, kind of being out there. I was more so kind of the person who stood in the back and didn't say too much. But when you're kind of out there and you make connections with, let's say in school it'd be your counselors or teachers and things like that, you never know who they may know or have connections to. Mm-hmm. And now I kind of wish I had a little bit more connections, just because the people that you meet, or
Sure.
They may know something that kind of you don't know, or they know other people who are in the same field that you want to get into, mm-hmm. or just have those connections. So definitely like being out more and connecting with people.
Now, as you're going back, you're going back for your fourth year, your last time round, you've got the last 2 semesters. Are you going to work on those kind of connections, or, what do you plan to do with these last undergraduate opportunities?
I plan to kind of discuss with my advisor about different roles I can take, or I guess directors and teachers that I've met through, and kind of talk to them about good courses to take, or the right way to go about applying into this post-bac program or this bridge program before getting into med school.
Got you. Now, you've been at school, you've had some great experiences there, and I'm sure you've done. I would always encourage you to do whatever it is that's come up to your heart, your mind to do. Your mom and I were definitely encouraging you to do a variety of things, because we definitely didn't want you to ever have a time when you go back and go, man, I'm 25, 35, 45, 55, and you didn't get a chance to do what you really wanted to do in life. I tell people all the time, we were there. I wasn't there with you when you got your ears pierced, but, I didn't give you a hard time. I was like, well, you want to get them pierced? Let's go. Get them done. Mm-hmm. I was blessed to be with you when you went and got your first tattoo put on. It has to, see you pick it out of that process. I didn't stick around for all of the ink being put on, but but you've gone on to do things in life. Even when your first year there, right? You came home and you went overseas the very next summer.
Yeah.
For was it 6 weeks?
It was a month, 4 weeks.
4 weeks, and so. I always like to tell people, I share with people all the time. I said, Shane spoiled me when, we got together and your mom was, and I would get married and looking to date then and getting married, and you were 5 when I met you for the first time. And you were 6 when we got married, and you've been with us ever since. And I always tell people, man, this kid made my life easy, because he never gave me but that one day. Do you remember that one day when we were at the other house in Marietta, and the only time I think we've ever had a conflict was when I wanted you to eat some lima beans?
No, I don't remember specifically, but you do definitely bring that up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That whole day, I tell you, that's the only time when I really got the chance to really see the side of you. Which, when Shane doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it. So I never had to worry about that, because lima beans were not my favorite. I don't even eat them. I don't even cook them anymore. If I didn't cook them that night, Mom cooked them that night. But if there's ever anything I always knew that you weren't going to do, you weren't going to do it. Mm-hmm. So we always try to foster that attitude, that whole lifestyle of you have to do the things that you want to do. Yeah. Because when you get into life, when you're forced to do things that you don't want to do, it can really suck.
Yeah.
It can really, really suck. Now, share with somebody that you are a member of a very elite fraternal organization. Share some about that and in your thoughts as you can. I know that you can't share a lot of that, fraternal order, but I mean, share with people out there listening what you've done while you've been in Ohio, the things you've been excited about, and definitely your fraternal organization.
So in the fall of 2015, I joined Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and that was definitely one of the top 3 choices I would have made. I made a lot of good brothers and a lot of connections through there. Mm-hmm. People that I didn't even know kind of had high up positions like that, who were specifically in my chapter, mm-hmm. who came out of Ohio State or other schools as well. They're definitely big brothers, a lot of mentors, and they kind of help me get where I need to go. And if they can't get there, we've got other brothers around the world actually who've either been where I've been or know the right path to take. So mm-hmm. it's not too difficult to be a phone call away from them and ask them like, oh, what should I do next? Or do you have some piece of advice or things like that? So it was definitely a great decision.
Well, I appreciate it. I know when you were telling me you were going to do it. I was like, well, at least you picked one that I can respect, because Dr. Bill is a Kappa. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to say that I don't respect any of the others, the Greek organizations, but I know Bill. He's a good friend of mine, and he's been great friends of the family. So I always knew that if I ever had a concern about the organization, like I was calling him up and say, Bill, what's the deal? Is he going to be okay? And I did. Trust me, I called Bill. I said, hey, Shane said he's going to pledge Kappa. I mean, will he be okay? He's like, man, don't worry about it. I got him. He's going to be fine. And I think having connections like that, being able to reach out to, Dr. Bill, other people in your organization, even before and after, to find out if that's okay, if those decisions are great, I think are great. And from a parental standpoint, mm-hmm. I know I enjoyed it. And because you being in Ohio, being away from us, there were definitely days when I said, man, is he okay? Lord, I pray for you daily to make sure that you're okay and that you're happy, that you're doing well. And especially when you guys had that incident on campus, mm-hmm. We were like, whoa, we were posting about it and have people pray for you and making sure that you were okay. And there were several parents that called and texted me, how's he doing? And they were responding to the comments and the posts about you being safe and the issues that were going on out there. Mm-hmm. What would you tell your brothers, moving in? Because you have tats, you have earrings, you have, you're Greek, you're the oldest son. Mm-hmm. And I always told you when, Mom and I were pregnant with Caden, I said, look, your brothers are just as much your responsibility as they are ours, but not displacing the parental side, of course. We're just saying that, everyone is connected. You guys are all brothers. We were all treated everybody the exact same. Mm-hmm. What would you tell them growing up about making choices and making decisions and going after what they really wanted?
Don't hold back. That's just kind of one thing. If you really want to do something, might as well go out and do it. Like kind of another one of the biggest choices I'm happy I made was studying abroad. Like a lot of people would have been afraid to go across the country for a full month, and
sure.
So when you kind of just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go do it. I didn't have everything put together piece by piece, but I just knew I wanted to work towards it, and so we just made that work out, and I got to study abroad, and I had no regrets doing it. I loved it. Kind of wish I can go back. It was great.
Yeah, it was outstanding to watch you do that. When you told me that you wanted to go to Europe for a month, I was like, oh my gosh, But I had to be supportive. I wanted you to go. I've been out of the country several times, but never at your age. And when you went, you didn't really know anybody. It was almost like by yourself and with the people that you met as a part of that program.
Yeah, that really wasn't a big issue to me because it was the same thing when I went to Ohio State. I didn't know anybody there. Yeah. And so I was like, well, it's going to be another new experience. So kind of looked at it that way.
Now I'm excited because I think when you were looking to go to Ohio, when we were, filling out apps and you were sending stuff in and the apps were coming in, sporadically, and you had some other top schools that you were really leaning to go in. I remember Ohio State came in, I do believe first, right, with the acceptance.
They were the first one, yeah.
And I know the scholarship came across almost like the following few weeks or less than a month later. We knew that they had offered money for you to come out there academically and get involved.
Yeah, it was pretty close. And,
I remember Mom was sick at that time, and you were saying, no, because you told me, I talked about it. You said, no, I think I'm going to stay home. You know, you said I was going to stay here. I'm going to go to UCR because Riverside was an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know,
UCR was close.
You could have, played ball there. And, for those who don't know, again, you're listening to the RZNGMEN Show, and I'm your host, Craig Carlisle, and I'm blessed to have my oldest son in studio with me today. And got his little brother sitting over here next to him. But, hey, Evan. And I just want everybody to know we're talking about a father's time, and I'm actually able to share with my oldest son, the time that he spent in college, and he's getting ready to graduate from the Ohio State University. And again, so we were talking about, you making that choice to go. Mm-hmm. You were going to make that choice as a sacrifice for a family.
Yeah.
But, when you and I were talking, I know Mom and I were committed to making sure that all of you had the educational opportunities of your lifetimes.
Yeah.
And it's not that we didn't want you here. Trust me, please believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I couldn't afford to have you look back in your life and say, man, I could have gone to such and such a school.
Yeah, yeah.
But I needed to stay home to do it. And it's no knock against anyone who's chosen to make those decisions for the sake of family. But we as a family were committed to, for one, who you were as a person. Two, because, Mom and I talked a lot about you and your brothers, each one of them, about what it's supposed to do until there was nothing left to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like Mom left me quite a laundry list of stuff to do. When I worked it off like the first 2 years afterwards. But your graduation was the biggest one for us.
Yeah.
And you going to school. 2 was Caden turning 13. And going to middle school. So for you all, and we're now out in a point now where we're just so far not quite sure where we're going. So everything is a new trail, a new adventure, like you do, right?
Yep, yep.
As your dad, what can I do more or less, or what haven't I done more or less to help foster that and help shape you to get to where what can we do more to help?
I wouldn't really say there's anything more to do because you definitely do it as it is. Like when there's certain, whether it be a consistent or just random times as well, which I do appreciate, you'll make sure you say, I love you. Yeah. Which is a lot of things I know a lot of parents don't, a lot of other students or kids my age just may not get. And kind of hearing that is also a good thing. Or you may check in every once in a while. It's not like some people who may be tired of it, like, oh my gosh, my parents, they call like every day, oh my goodness. But every once in a while, it's always a good thing as well, too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I always feel like I don't call enough. I feel like I don't text enough.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's good. It's good.
Well, I tell you, from being dad sitting over here, with almost 3,000, and I know the distance, like I posted, it's like 3,101 miles away, because I actually did that mark one day on one of our posts.
Uh-huh.
But it's hard for me to watch your kids go. Mm-hmm. And I used to listen to my parents say that too, growing up. Oh, it's hard to watch your kids grow up. But it is, because you want your kids to have everything, and you want to be there kind of watching them and kind of guarding you. But I know I've learned that we can't be there all the time. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, the young man that you've come and become and are becoming is such an honor to watch and a privilege. I imagine you won't remember, but the day I came over to Mom's house to propose to her, mm-hmm. I remember you opened the door and you had that look and you were just like, oh, he's here, open the door, come on in. And we laughed. And mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember that day we were standing in the kitchen. I had the ring in the little box and I pulled it out and I told you, I said, hey, so when you get to the point where you find a woman that you love, mm-hmm. and you want to spend your life with, these are the kind of things you do. You open up, you go buy her a nice ring. I showed you first and I asked you if you would be okay with me marrying your mom. Mm-hmm. And then I proposed to your mom.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always make sure that you knew that you were always first and will always be first in our heart and in our minds, and no matter where you go. And I always tell you all the time, wherever we are, you have a place there, mm-hmm. right? Whether it be a couch space, floor space, whatever, there's always a free space. So you never have to worry about stuff like that. And that's always been something we're trying to make sure. It's funny. While you're gone, I hate to keep talking so much. Again, you're listening to the RZNGMEN Show, and I'm your host, Craig Carlisle. And again, I've got my oldest son in the studio with me today, and it's an honor and a privilege and love to have my son. He's getting ready to go back and finish his last two semesters, and mm-hmm. finish at the Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes, Oh,
yeah.
And I know the football team did well this year. They didn't go to the final spot where they wanted to be. We're still as proud. And I know, Shane, you probably two things I'm supposed to be saying before I get off track. The first one was that even while the kids here or your brothers here, they have a pecking order. Mm-hmm. They always know when you're not here, It's the next oldest one in line who's in charge. Evan, he's shaking his head over going, yeah, he knows. And even now when Caden is, 13 and trying to do a little bit more watching of his brothers when I leave the house for stretches at a time, they know. Then when they know when you're back in town that it's a fall in line. Shane's here. We got to do what Shane says when Dad's not there. So it's something that they already are still following, no matter what, no matter where you are. In fact, I know Evan, he's probably one of the biggest Ohio State homers we have ever. Because Evan told me one day, Dad, I need a pair of Ohio State socks and pants and shoes and shirt and hat to wear all at the same time. He's going to be a poster child, I do believe, for Ohio State.
He might be.
But it's excellent. Now, let me ask you this. I've rambled on so much about a father's time and spending time. What do you want to do when you get out? I know you talked about post-bac program. What is on the next topic for you, Doc? You talk about after August of 2017, where your travels take you. Where are you going?
Yeah, after August, I'd like to come back to Southern California area. I like that sun. That cold weather out in Ohio is not doing me justice. But I do enjoy
even.
it. Yeah, that's very true. Tan is even, but I prefer the beach tan.
I feel you.
It wouldn't be too bad, or out in Arizona, Phoenix area, something like that. But I'd really like to, just kind of like as the last thing, make it as a sports team physician, either working for either NBA or NFL, something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of get some shadowing positions, things like that. But definitely in those nice weather areas, because me kind of looking outside and seeing the weather kind of really determines your demeanor, and it has a big part of it, at least.
You don't want to go to Wisconsin?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm down no St. Paul, no Minnesota?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm for the East Coast or West Coast area. East Coast. And when I say East Coast, down in like Florida.
Oh, you don't want to be like upstate New York? Because we can get you some stuff with the Bills now.
Not at all. Not at all.
Now
I wouldn't mind it at the end, but like overall, nice San Diego area would be San Diego, LA, things like that.
Now we're going to put that out there. Again, you're listening to the RZNGMEN Show, and I'm your host, Craig Carlisle. And in studio, got my oldest boy, Shane. Your mom used to call you Shaney Shane. That's why that came back to mind really quick. But I tell you, anyone out there listening, you have connections. If you are a part of a sports team, you're looking for a young man that you want to, teach and mentor and be able to give an opportunity. Reach out to the show. Send us a message. Send us a blog on the RZNGMEN RZNGMEN.com, and you can put him on the blog or Twitter page or on Facebook. If you have an opportunity, message me. Let us know, because he's open. He's traveled. He's been out of the country. So Shane, when you went out of the country, where did you go? I mean, it was Budapest. You went to?
I was out in Budapest for majority of the trip, 3 weeks. We went to Warsaw, Poland for about a week or so. And then lastly, we were in Vienna, Austria for a couple days. So,
and those places get cold too. And I know you weren't there during the cold weather time, but it's pretty much almost, half passport world travel.
Yeah.
Well, that's outstanding. That's outstanding. Now, leaving this, getting prepped for the end of the show, give us a message for someone, to your younger self. If you had to imagine, okay, if I had to go back and tell myself something right now, what would I want myself to remember to do? And what's my main goal in life right now? What drives me? What fuels me? So at the end of the day, people say, man, that's what drove him? Okay, I got it. So what would you tell yourself to always remember?
It's still the same thing I follow today, is just be determined. You may not have everything planned out, but if you're determined and you know where you want to be and that's your end goal, just stick to it. You'll at some point you'll find a way to get there. So once you're determined and you know where you want to be, you'll find a way to get there.
That's outstanding. Again, you've been listening to the RZNGMEN Show, and I'm your host, Craig Carlisle, and just so happy and privileged and honored to have my oldest son Shane in the studio with me today. And that means we've actually interviewed all of my sons over the last several weeks, and that's pretty much very, very, very outstanding, and I'm just excited. So again, hit me on the blog, web pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, at RZNGMEN, RZNGMEN. That's RZNGMEN. Be blessed.
The Bible says in Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose.
Yeah, SCP, KD, Robert Earl Dean. Got a message for you. It's not over until God says it's over. Let's go.
I know times may be tough, you may be going through. God sent me with this message to encourage you. Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for the good. God has a master plan, the power is in his hand. Oh no, no, no. Trust and know. Don't let the trials it's not over till God says it's over. Don't let your situations or challenges surround you till God says it's over. No need to let worry or doubt try to stress you out. It's the trick of the enemy. Resist him and he will flee. His promises are true. He will come through. He said if you acknowledge him, he will direct your path. Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. No matter what you're going through, said it ain't over. No, said it ain't over. No, it ain't over. No, 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 it ain't over. I can tell you what he did for me, he'll do it for you. All you gotta do is let him carry you through. I came to tell you it ain't over. No, 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 no. I can believe, I can receive. He did it for me, he'll do it for you. God will bring you through. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. Ask the woman with the issue of blood. Ask the children of Israel. I know he can, and I know he will. It was early one morning, just about the break of day, when Jesus, he touched me and he washed all my sins away. I started running, I started shouting. I had no time for doubting. You know that I got nothing but the Holy Ghost. Yeah, the Holy Ghost. It was early one morning, just about the break of day, when Jesus, he touched me and he washed all my sins away. The Holy Ghost. I can feel it moving. Down in my soul. It'll make you love your enemies. Talking about the Holy Ghost. Moving down in my soul. The Holy Ghost, it will keep me. When I don't wanna be kept. Moving down in my soul. I can feel it moving in my soul. Take control. Yeah, the Holy Ghost. Jeremiah said it like fire. From the top of my head, way down to the sole of my feet. It's like the wheel in the middle of the wheel. It makes you move sometimes when you don't feel like even moving. I can feel it. I can feel it. Yeah, it keeps on. Oh, it keeps on. The Holy Ghost, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Ghost. I got it. I got it. Keeps on.
This is Craig Carlisle, the host of the RZNGMEN Show, and I'm also an executive producer of the independent feature film Restored Me.
I lost everything for something I didn't do. What type of God is gonna watch a man get up on his feet and then kick him right back down to get drugged through the dirt again?
It's a powerful, feel-good dramedy that centers around a young man trying to restore his relationship with his young daughter and her mother.
Talk to him just like you're talking to me.
Where have you been, kid? These people take communion from me. I am their God.
This film speaks to restoring your faith and pushes a bold message of positivity and motivation. The cast includes Gary Owen, Bill Duke, William Lee, Matt Gerald, Richard T. Jones, Malik Yobo, Yancey Arias, and Bo Casper Smart, just to name a few. Restored Me is available on over 100 digital markets, including iTunes, Amazon, and on demand from your local cable provider. Buy it, rent it, either way, I'm asking you to watch it. It'll bless your life.